This is Teacher Marimar. For those who have been here, you know me already. Welcome back. And if this is your first session, then welcome, and I hope you never leave us again. Welcome to another video session for Intermediate Superior 1. Remember that the material we are using is American English File 3A, the one with a green cover, okay? So don't get confused. I hope you had a great week, and I hope you are ready for what's coming this week with us. As usual, before starting our actual class, I have some announcements to make. There are two things I wanted to talk to you about before we start the class, and the first one of them is the one that you already know if you have seen us before, which is our class etiquette. This agreement that we all agree to work on so as to make the most out of our sessions. I am sure you are pretty aware that there is a lot of information that needs to be shared, but unfortunately we don't have much time. So we should all try to follow this agreements to enjoy and take the most advantage possible of the sessions. Speaking of this, remember that now we have sessions 2 times a week, on Thursdays at 5 p.m. and on Saturdays at 4 p.m. Yes, I'll try not to get confused. So I hope to see all of you and more on Saturday again. So the first thing that I always talk to you about is try to be on time. I usually try to open the session a couple of minutes before the set starting time so that you can all have time to adjust your things, your microphones, etc., etc. Okay. Then this is really important. I have seen some people having maybe some issues with this, and I would like you to fix it right now in case you haven't fixed it already. It is really important that you use your actual name and last name on the Zoom session so that we can identify you and we know how to address you. Because I love to interact with you guys, but if I don't see your name there, then I don't know if you're a he or a she, and even worse, if you have your camera closed. So please, now is the time to rename yourselves. You have the option to do that, so please change your username to your actual name and last name so you can be part of the class. Then have any materials you may need ready, and by materials I don't mean only your book, but also a notebook or a notepad or anything that you may need to take some notes or to write down some answers if you need to. You decide that. Just a quiet place at home to have the class so as to avoid any possible interruptions. I know that's impossible sometimes, but let's try not to get too distracted. And speaking of which, I will love it if you could put your phones away for a second or put them on silent or in airplane mode or turn them off, you decide, but try to focus for 60 minutes on learning some English. Then again, try to stay the whole session and keep your camera open for better interaction. I don't want to look into the void when I talk to you guys. I know you are there, so I will love it if you could open your camera so we can actually see each other. And please try to stay the whole session. As I mentioned before, we always exchange a lot of information, which is really important for you. And if you leave even for a second to get a glass of water, then you might miss something really important. So try to keep, that's why I usually mention have everything you need ready. I have my water here, so I'm more than ready for this lesson. I mentioned that I would love it if you could open your cameras, but please keep your microphones muted. Okay, actually all of you are muted right now. And if some microphones are open at the same time, there is some sort of interference, and that's kind of annoying and distracting for all of the people. So please keep them muted. However, that doesn't mean that we cannot interact with each other, because Zoom offers us some really, really cool tools that we can use to interact with each other. And you are going to be able to access those functions on this bar. At the bottom of your screen, you're probably seeing this bar right here. The first button on the left is the microphone button, with which you can close and open your microphone as needed. Same thing with the camera button. You can open or close your camera as needed. And then you have the participants button. Once you press the participants button, another tab is going to open on the side. You are going to see a list of all the people that are in your session right now. And also you're going to see a menu similar to this one. Some people might have all of these options and some people might not. That depends on the version of Zoom that you have. unfortunately, there is nothing we can do about it. But the most important thing is that all of you, I'm pretty sure that all of you do have the raise hand option. So if I ask a question or if I ask for your participation, you can raise your hand, okay? Now, I mentioned before that your microphones are going to be muted for most of the class. And that's because if I ask for volunteers, then you can feel more than free to open your microphone and share your answers or your opinions or your ideas or anything you want to share with us. The only thing I ask from you is that as soon as you finish speaking, mute your microphones again so as not to have that interference I mentioned before, okay? And finally, have fun, try to learn and make the most of your time here. So that's it. That was my first announcement. My second announcement is that we have a new teacher joining us from today on. Unfortunately, teacher Violeta cannot be with us anymore, but we have another great teacher here with us, and that's teacher Farid. So teacher Farid, could you please say hello to us?
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so there is teacher Farid. Nice to meet you, teacher Farid. This is the first time I'm seeing him
Pleasure.
too, so nice to meet you. So he's going to be here with us, helping us around, and you have to know that he's able, more than able, to help you as much as I am. So maybe if you have any questions, you can address them to him or to me, and we are going to do everything we can to answer them. And that's what I wanted you to know, okay? We are here to help, so do not hesitate to ask anything you might need. Now, having said all of this, then I think we can get started. If you were here last Saturday, and I hope that you were, I should start calling a roll. You might have noticed that we finished lesson 3A in your books, okay? So lesson 3A is over. By lesson 3A, if by any reason you couldn't be present in any of the sessions, then don't worry. I record all of the sessions that we have, and then we upload them to the platform. So you're going to be able to participate again if you need to. Even if you were present and maybe we discussed something that you don't remember, or we share some useful information for you, then you can go to the platform and watch the recording of our sessions again, okay? Also, do not forget to go to the platform to check on the activities on video lessons that we prepare for you. Remember that this is a process, okay? Meaning that you have to do all the activities that we have on the platform. If you skip one of them, you're not going to be able to move on to the next one. That's why we insist on this, okay? So we have 2 hours of live video lessons a week, but ideally you should be able to dedicate a little bit more of your time during the week. I know all of us are crazy busy right now, but try to do an extra effort, run the extra mile, and go to our platform and see everything that we have prepared for you with so much love and sacrifice. So now we're going to start with lesson 3B in your books, okay? So if you have your books with you, you can look for the unit, okay? You're going to find it. And the name of this lesson is Stereotypes, or Are They? This is really interesting. This is like a super duper fancy long word that people tend to use a lot. So can somebody tell me what a stereotype is? In your opinion, like you don't have to open a dictionary. I want to know what you think. So tell me, what is a stereotype for you? Remember, you can always use the chat. If you are shy to open your microphone, we'll have the chat. We're going to read you. So what do you think a stereotype is? What comes to your mind when we say the word stereotype? Somebody, anybody? Okay.
For me, an stereotype is an image that most people have for something in a specific.
Okay, thank you very much, Karen. So she says it's an idea that people have about something, or it can be also of someone, or it can be about a place, or it can be about a situation. What do you think, guys? I would love to hear somebody else's opinion so that we can compare your answers.
A general idea of a specific population, maybe.
Okay, excellent. That's a great word. That's a great one. Okay, perfect. So, does anybody have an example of a stereotype in mind? I don't know, that's a little bit abstract, but when you hear the word stereotype, what comes to your mind? What example or a behavior or something that people expect? What do you think? What could be a stereotype? Teacher, do you have an idea?
Yes, that
Sure.
all Paraguayans drink tereré.
Okay, so that's a stereotype. Great. Now, thank you very much. Do you
You're
think that
welcome.
is true, guys? Do you think that every single Paraguayan drinks tereré here in this country? Like every single person, all Paraguayans, no exceptions? Do you think that's true?
I think it's just a stereotype.
Okay, excellent. So you say it's just a stereotype. So great answer. Your answer gives us the notion or the idea that stereotypes are just basically opinions. Okay, as Karen mentioned before, they are images or ideas that you have about a person, a situation, a place, but they are not necessarily true. Okay, even though they are most commonly believed by most people, they tend not to be quite true. Okay, and that's what we are going to be talking about. There are many different categories of stereotypes, like the one teacher Ferry mentioned, and there are stereotypes about nationalities, there are stereotypes about certain activities, there are stereotypes about certain, I don't know, books, movies, whatever. But today, and in your book, we are going to focus on this type of stereotypes, the stereotypes that involve men or women. Okay, so we know that there are some very common stereotypes that are more related to one gender over the other, and we're going to be having quite a few discussions about this. But before that, as usual, we're going to start with some questions. So this is the time to open your microphone or start typing on the chat. The first question says, are you a talkative or a quiet person? You tell me. This is pretty simple.
I am a quiet person.
Perfect. Same when I'm not in class.
Me too.
Okay, great. Yeah, I remember you were my student. Okay, then
I am a talkative person.
awesome. Awesome. Then somebody else would like to share their answers? Or you can text me if you want.
In my case, depends because when I am with persons that I have confidence, I am talkative, but when I have with person that I don't know, I am very
Okay, okay, it can happen. It can happen, no problem. Then let's move on to the next question, okay? Who is the most talkative person in your family?
The
My
most
dear
talkative
brother.
person in my family is my dad.
Okay, I heard brother, I heard dad, great.
My wife.
Okay, your wife, great, great, excellent. So, okay, Camila, you can speak. No? Okay. Then let's move on to the next one. Who is the most talkative person you know in general?
My best friend
Okay, is she a boy? Is he or she a boy or a girl?
is a she.
Okay.
Yeah, she always express whatever she think, how she feels, like ever. She doesn't hide any emotion or any thought. She just talk about it.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, that's great. That's that's a skill some people are born with. Anybody else would like to share with us who's the most talkative person they know? In your cameras, I see you thinking really hard. And I would love to think that if your camera is closed, you are also thinking really hard on who is the most talkative person you know in your life. You don't know anybody talkative? For real? Or do you have too many options?
I have a cousin who is very talkative. He never stopped to talk. He talks like I don't know. He never stopped to talk. He
Oh.
talk and talk and talk
Okay.
about everything. Really.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome. Now, yes.
My teachers
Mm-hmm.
of my school,
They are really talkative.
yes, of her life or his life.
Okay, great. Well, at least they love to share things. That's good. Thank you very much, guys. Now, next question. Do you think that, generally speaking, women are more talkative than men? Or is it the other way around, in your opinion? Opinions are never wrong. They are opinions. So what do you think? Who are more talkative, women or men?
I think women.
Okay, women, why? Okay, other people say women too. Great. Remember, you can use the chat. Thank you very much to the people who are texting me. Us, actually, we can all see the answers. So I think women are winning so far. Does anybody think that men are more talkative than women or no?
I think that it depends of the culture, the religion, and the families of each person.
Wow, that's a lot of things to consider. Okay, but that's true. You are avoiding all stereotypes there. Yes?
How do you say introverted and extroverted?
Introverted and extroverted.
Yeah, depend of that, I think, too.
Okay, great. That's a very good point, actually. Okay, great. Awesome. Now, let's move on to the next one. It says, what topics do men talk about more than women? What do you think?
Football, soccer.
Okay, soccer. Great. Cars, okay.
Video games.
Okay.
Sports.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Now, what about the other one? What topics do women talk about more than men?
Makeup.
Okay, great.
Fashion.
Good.
Talk about other men.
Other men? Wow. Wow. Okay. Sorry? Okay, clothes. Excellent. Yes, that's true. We talk about clothes all the time. Can confirm.
Celebrities.
Okay, celebrities. That's cool. Great job, guys. So now that you have shared your answers, thank you very much for the people who are participating. We are going to move on to an activity that is going to help us have a clearer idea on this. Okay, I was asking you these questions because we have a little bit of scientific evidence on what actually happens between men and women and who is more talkative. So for that, you have to go to pages 28 and 29 in your books, okay? So there, we are going to find two reading passages. The first reading passage is called Men Talk Just as Much as Women. Can it really be true? That's the first one. And the second one is called Gossip with the Girls, Just Pick 1 out of 40 subjects. Interesting. So if you can go to those pages in your book, that's awesome. Now, if you don't have your book at home for any reason, don't worry. We're going to be sharing some slides here with all the reading passages so that you can follow the reading, okay? So teacher, would you mind leading us in this activity? Teacher Farid, are you around?
Yeah, I'm here. Just a second. Let me open the file.
No, don't worry. I have it here on the screen. I can do that for you.
Okay. Okay, perfect. That's it. So man talk just as much as woman. Can it be really true? So who would like to read? Any volunteer? Someone would like to read this article. Come on. Anyone, come on, don't be shy.
Wait,
Okay,
okay.
me. Emily would like to read. Okay, Emily, go ahead.
Okay. Research by psychologists at the University of Arizona has shown that the stereotype that women talk more than men may not be true. In the study, hundreds of college students were
Fitted?
with fitted with recorders, and the total number of words used during the day was then counted. The results published in the New Scientist show that women speak about 16,000 words a day and men speak only slightly fewer.
Yeah.
In fact, the four most talkative persons in the study were all men. Professor Matthias Mel, who was in charge of the research, said that he and his colleagues had expected to find that women were more talkative.
Yeah, colleagues.
Yeah,
His colleagues.
yeah, that's the
Thanks a
pronunciation.
lot, Emily. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So, yeah. So what does slightly and in fact mean? Can anyone, if you guys can speak, just type in the chat box if you have any idea, or you can just write an example to show that you understand slightly and in fact. Any ideas or any examples?
In fact, would be that is affirmative.
Exactly. Yes, a fact. Something which is known to everyone. Something confirmed.
What about slightly? What comes to your mind when we say slightly? Do you think it's a lot or do you think it's just a little?
Slightly would be a piece of that entire group.
Mm-hmm.
We call it a slide of pizza would be
Well,
an
actually,
example.
I think
No.
you're getting a little confused because
Yeah.
they sound really similar, but in this context, slight, actually the pronunciation is letter T. Slightly means just a little. Okay, it's like slightly fewer, just a little
Okay.
touch of it. Okay,
A few.
so slice is with C. Okay, SLICE.
Thank
Great.
you.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to continue reading. We have plenty of reading to do today. So, teacher, pick your
Okay.
volunteer.
Any other volunteer, please? Come
Would
on,
you?
it's your time to practice. Anyone? Anyone?
I will.
Thank you.
Thank you, Camila. Okay, Camila, let's start with you.
However, I had been skeptical of the common belief that women use 3 times as many words as men. This idea became popular after the publication of a book called The Female Brain, whose author, Luan Brisson, claimed that a woman uses about 20,000 words per day, whereas a man uses about 7,000. Professor Mel accepts that many people will find the results difficult to believe. However, he thinks that this research is important because the stereotype that women talk too much and men keep quiet is bad not only for women but also for men. It says that two, I don't see.
It says it to be a good male, it is better not to talk, that silence is golden. Sorry for that. Sorry, you cannot read. But thank you very much for sharing that, for reading. Teacher, do you have any questions for them?
Words, skeptical. Is it a positive word or negative? Anyone? Skeptical. Does it mean positive or negative? Any ideas?
I know in Spanish, but I can explain.
Give me an example in English.
And is when you hope more than you thought something. You
Mm,
Yeah,
was
when you
expected
doubt about something.
for something.
I heard something. I heard someone talking on the back, and I heard the word doubt. So could you please repeat your answer?
When you doubt about something.
Okay, basically, you don't believe on something unless you have evidence right in front of your eyes, right? That is to be skeptical. Then, what other words do we have, teacher?
Claim. What is claimed? Any idea? Anyone?
It's like says.
Yeah, but it's more like sure that you're 100% certain that it's true.
When you are
More
sure
than
for
say.
something,
Exactly, yeah. You're very certain that, for example, he claims to be the strongest man in the world. That he's so sure that he's the strongest man in the world. But
And
it's
that's
his
what he
claim. Maybe
said.
it's not true, but it's his claim. And the next word, any idea? Where's? Anyone? If you're shy to talk, you can just write in the chat box.
So if this is a new word for you, then you should know that the word whereas is something that we use to show contrast between two ideas, okay? I have tea on this hand, whereas I have water on this one. So there are two things that are sort of opposite or just plain different. That's what you use whereas for, to introduce a new thing, okay? So thank you very much, guys. We have really, really useful information about how much men speak on this one. But how about women? For that, we're going to go to the next reading. This is called Gossip with the Girls to speak any one of 40 subjects. So, any volunteer to read this, please? It is not as long as it looks, I promise. How do you say kri in English? I know some people want to read, they just don't. They just feel a little push, need a little push. Anybody who would like to read this?
Women are expert at gossiping, and they often talk about trivial things, or at least that's what men have always thought. However, according to research done by Professor Petra Boyton, a psychologist at University College London, when women talk to women, their conversations are not trivial at all and cover many more big topics, up to 40, than they than when men talk to other men. Women's conversation range from health to their houses, from politics to fashion, from movie to family, from education to relationship problems. Almost everything, in fact, except soccer. Men tends to talk about fewer subjects, the most popular being work, sport, jokes, cars, and women.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Fernando.
So what do you think, guys? I mean, girls, is there anybody who can agree with this? With what it says here, we still have some other parts to read. So I'm going to put the slide here, and then teacher, you can find a volunteer for us.
Okay, the next volunteer. Anyone? Any volunteers?
Oops, it disappeared. Happens. This is a live session. So this is the shortest one.
Any volunteers?
me,
Thank you.
Okay,
Here,
sure.
Professor Boyton interviewed over 1,000 women for her study. She also found that women move quickly from one subject to another in conversation, whereas men usually stick to one subject for longer period of time. Professor Boynton also said that men and women talked for different reasons. In social situations, women use conversation to solve problems and reduce stress, while men talk to each other to laugh or to exchange opinions.
Okay, thank you very much, Fabricio. Great, great job. Now, wow, we did a lot of reading today, a lot of information, but what do you think, guys? Do you agree with any of these reading passages or not? In your opinion, I just want a quick yes or no. Remember that my chat box is always open for you. Okay, so I
Agree.
agree as well. Okay. So, do you guys agree because of your own experience or do you agree because science says it? What do you think? Can you relate to any of the experiences that were mentioned in these reading passages? Yes, no, maybe, I don't know. Let's see what we have
Yes,
on.
because this was about a study for many people.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Now, let's do this. We have a little exercise to see what you remember from the reading passages, okay? So we have 4 sentences here. We're going to read them together, and as we read them, you have to help us. I mean, you have to help each other. I know the answers, but you have to help each other complete the blank spaces that we have here with either the article a or n, the, or just no article, okay? And then we are going to decide if either a woman or a man said this expressions, okay? So the first one says, have you heard this joke? Hamburger and French fry walk into a coffee shop. What can we put in those spaces? Okay, so I see the chat. Okay, so a hamburger and a French fry walk into a coffee shop. Great. Then waitress says. What about waitress? The waitress. Excellent. I'm sorry, we don't serve food here. What do you put here on this blank space? Any ideas? Excellent, Emily. No article. Nothing. Empty. Great job. Then, I just read an article. What should we put there? I just read an article. Excellent job on internet. What about internet? Excellent. The internet. About how eating strawberries makes you look younger. Nothing. Excellent. Just strawberries. That's it. I'm sure it's something wrong between us because we never go out to dinner or to movies anymore. So let's see what people in the chat say. So we never go out to dinner, excellent, empty, or to the movies. Remember, movies are the things that you watch, but when you say the movies, you're talking about a movie theater. Did you watch game last night? So let's see. So did you watch the game or do you watch a game? What do you think? Okay. The, excellent. Did you watch the game and then what about last night? What do we put there? Nothing. Excellent, Emily. Nothing. I can't believe that referee didn't see that it was penalty. Okay, I can't believe that the referee didn't see that it was a penalty. Excellent job, guys. Now, I didn't put the answers here because this was just a little bit of a review to see what you remembered about how and when we use each of the articles. What are articles? They are these little words that we have here. A or an, the, and no article, okay? Which is also really important because sometimes we tend to put articles when they are not really needed, okay? And that's what we are going to see now really quickly before we move on to more practice. So first we're going to see how and when to use the words or the letter A and N, okay? So what you need to know, first of all, is that when you're going to use A or N, you are going to talk about only one thing, okay? You use them in the singular, only in the singular. If you have more than one, then you eliminate the article. By article, you don't exist. But if you have one thing that you're going to be talking about, then you can use A or N. To decide which one you are going to use, you have to look at the word that comes after. If the word that comes after starts with a consonant sound, then you use a. For example, a frog, a lemon, a truck, okay? However, if the word that comes right after has the sound of a vowel, you use an apple, an egg, an umbrella, a nectar. Now, why do I say sound and not letter? Because you know that in English, each letter has many different sounds, okay? So what really matters to us is the sound of, the beginning sound of of the next word. I'm going to give you a super common example here. Here we have the word uncle. How do you pronounce uncle? Uncle. So the beginning sound is okay, a vowel. However, you have a university. Why not an university? Sounds weird. The thing is that the letter U at the beginning of university is more similar to you than to the letter U, okay? So that's why you have to be really careful with the sound of the word that comes after. It is really common to make mistakes with this because we just think about the letter and not about the sound. So that's something that now you know and you're not going to make mistakes about them anymore. Now, this is how to use a or n, but what about when to use a or n? Let's suppose you're talking to a friend and you say, oh, I saw a beautiful dog on my way here to meet you, okay? A dog. It could be any dog in the world. So when you're talking about things in general, okay, or when it is the first time that you mention or introduce some information, you use a or n, okay? Now, what do you do when you have something that is super specific? Or if the person you're talking to already knows what you're talking about? Then in that case, you use the magic word the, okay? You use the word the, okay, when you have already mentioned something, when the person knows what you guys are talking about, or sometimes when there is only one of the things that you're talking about. For example, the internet. There is only one internet. I mean, it has many different websites and apps and everything, but there is only one internet. Or the moon, or the sun, okay? There is only one, so we all know which one we are talking about. And we use the to talk about things that are very, very specific. I'm going to refer to my previous example. I saw a beautiful dog on my way here. The dog had a big bone on his mouth, okay? You say a first because you were introducing the information. You say the dog because the person already knows which dog you are talking about. So that's when you use the word the. And you can use the with any word in the world. Nothing No letters or sounds to worry about with the, okay? And then we have no article, which is super duper important because it happens to us all. Especially for us Spanish speaking people, we do have articles, for example, before days or months, and that is not the case in English. So we tend to make mistakes with that, and that is only a matter of training. The more you practice, the less likely you are to make a mistake like that. So we use no article to talk about things in general. What do I mean? Milk is good for you. I'm not talking about the milk I have on my fridge or the one you have on your shopping cart. I'm talking about milk in general. Same story when you say women or men. You're talking about them in general. All the women in the world, all the men in the world. Also, for example, to talk about sports and games, you don't say the basketball, we only say basketball. Before the names of countries, we don't use them, except if the word the is already part of the name of the country. For example, the United Kingdom, the United States, the Czech Republic, and the Philippines. Those are the ones that I have in my mind right now. Also, with the names of places, most of the time, you say, I go to school every morning. Only school. You don't say, I go to the school. It's like a little redundant. You don't need to put an article there, okay? So, do you have any questions about anything that I mentioned here? Something you don't understand, that is not clear, that you would like me to repeat? Okay, apparently not. I'm going to assume you didn't. Don't say I didn't ask. So now it's time for us to have fun and go to the grammar practice section of your book on page 137. Again, if you have your book at home, please go there and prepare your pencils. If you don't, then just prepare your notepad and pencil or pen and take notes of the answers of the exercises that we are going to do. On the first one, we have to circle the correct answers, but I am going to underline it on the screen so that you don't have any problems, like visually, so that it doesn't cover any words. So the options here are, I love weddings or the weddings. Obviously, the option is weddings. Easy example. What do you think about number one? Read and tell me the answer. Open your microphone or text me in the chat. Jess is nurse or a nurse in a hospital? Okay, we have many votes for a. Let's see. Excellent, a nurse. What about the second one? Hospital is far from her house. So okay, let's see. Excellent, the hospital, great job. What about number two? A horrible day or just horrible day?
What a horrible day.
What a horrible day.
You guys were absolutely right. Excellent. What about the second part?
In the car.
You were absolutely right as well. We'll have to have our picnic in the car. Number three, my wife likes love stories or the love stories?
Love story.
Great job, sir, love stories, but I prefer
War movies.
Yep, war movies. Great job. Then we go to theater or to the theater?
The theater.
The theater.
About once a month or once the month?
About
Once a month.
Once a month. Yep. I didn't mark that one, but it's once a month. My bad. I'm having dinner or the dinner with some friends.
I am having dinner.
dinner.
Only dinner, nothing else. With some friends, the next Friday or next Friday?
Next Friday. Without that.
Next Friday.
Right. Next Friday. Before next Friday, next month, last year, last month, 2 weeks ago, we never use an article. Okay, that's something you have to keep in mind all the time. My boyfriend is a chef. I give you the answer, a chef. Ugh. I think he is the best cook or best cook in the world.
The best cook.
Excellent, the best cook in the world. What about number 7?
The
The
windows.
windows.
Right, and the second part?
Home.
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 Only home. Great job. What about number 8?
I like dogs.
Yes, girl. And what about the second part?
But I don't like that dogs I live.
Yep, you're being super specific about which dogs you don't like. What about number 9?
Only a school.
Excellent job. Only school. I got to school late every day.
Last week.
Last week. Last week. Sorry.
Don't worry, only last week. Perfect. And what about the last one? What do you think?
Success.
Happiness.
Okay, happiness. That's true. Only happiness. And what about the other part?
Success.
Success.
You're right, guys. Only success. Perfect. I think everything is clear. Unless somebody else has having issues and is not telling us. If you have any questions, do not forget to ask. So now we're going to move on, obviously, to the next exercise, which is exercise B for you in your books. We are going to complete with a or an, the or no article, okay? So let's go straight to number 1.
No article.
Okay, do you guys agree?
Go to the gym.
It's the, okay? How often do you go to the gym? Because you're talking about that place specific. About 3 times.
A
A
week.
week.
A week.
A week. But I never go on.
No article.
No article.
Article.
Excellent. On Fridays. So what time does train leave?
The.
The. Excellent. In 10 minutes, can you give me?
A ride to the station.
Excellent, thank you. Number 3.
What a beautiful dress.
Beautiful.
What a beautiful dress. Awesome. Thanks. I bought it on.
A sale and
Yeah.
no article.
Awesome. Great job. I bought it on a sale last month. What about number 4?
The most.
Yes. What's the most interesting place to visit in your town? Probably.
The museum.
Yes, the museum. It's
The.
The hostel.
great. Great, guys. It's the oldest building in town. Perfect. So we're going to continue with the other sentences. Teacher Farid, would you like to read this with you guys?
Okay, number 5. What should we do?
No
Any
article.
idea? Perfect, no article. Great. And B, let's invite some friends for?
No article.
Yeah, perfect. Let's invite some friends for lunch. And we could eat outside in?
The year.
Eh?
Yeah, perfect. Because it's your yard, so it's something specific. So you already know what we are talking about. So the yard. Number 6. Do you like?
Do you like dogs? No article.
Perfect. We're talking in general. Do you like dogs? And not really. I prefer.
Nothing.
And yeah, nothing. We're talking in general. I prefer cats. And I think they are
There.
the best pets because you're using superlative best, so you have to use the article the. Number 7, is your mom
A.
is your mom perfect? Is your mom a housewife? And B, no, she is
A teacher.
perfect. She is a teacher. She's always tired when she gets home from.
No article. Work.
Perfect. Perfect. Great. Nothing. Number 8, have you ever had any idea?
Problem.
Oh.
A problem.
Perfect.
Apple.
We're talking, yeah, have you ever had a problem in your relationship? Yes, we got our,
The problem.
The problem.
yeah, we got over the problem and we got married.
No article.
Perfect. We don't use articles with next and last. We don't say the last week, the last month. No, just last week, last month, next year. That's it. And the last one, number 9, when is?
There.
The meeting.
Yeah, perfect. Because you're asking a question, it means the person he already knows. So when is the meeting? They have changed.
A date.
Any idea? They have changed.
The date.
Yes, because we already had a date, but they change it. It's
The next Tuesday. No.
No.
we don't use articles with next
No.
or last, especially with months and days and years. We don't say anything. Just next Tuesday, last Tuesday, nothing. Perfect. Great.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. You did a great job on this. Before we move on to our last activity for today, do you have any questions about anything that we have done today? Anything that is not clear that you would like us to repeat or explain in more depth, with more details, something, anything? Because now it's time for us to have fun.
No, teacher, all
Okay.
clear.
So questions 3, questions 2, questions 1. Okay, no questions. If you have any questions during the week, you can always text me in the platform and I will reply to your messages as soon as I can, right? So now we are going to do a speaking exercise, okay? The speaking exercise is on page 29. Obviously, it's the same page in which we were reading the reading passages, and this speaking exercise is also related to the content of them, okay? Remember that according to those articles, we have like scientific evidence on who speaks more about what. So why don't we prove the article wrong? I'm going to need a couple of volunteers for this. You have to be really brave to do this. I know, okay? So I will really appreciate it if you gather all the cords you have and open your microphones to do the following. If you're a woman, try to talk only for 1 minute because it's hard enough to do it in front of people online. So if you're a woman, try to talk for 1 minute about, you choose soccer or cars or computers, one of the topics. And if you're a man, try to talk for 1 minute about fashion or shopping or your family. Just 1 minute. We will check the time with each of our 8. So who are going to be our brave volunteers for today? I want to know. Come on, guys. I'm rooting for you. I know you can do this.
I think I can.
Woo! We have our first volunteer here. So which topic are you going to choose? Soccer, cars, or computers?
I'm not really sure.
Or you can talk
Whatever.
about all 3 if you know enough about them.
Maybe 3 or
Okay. Okay, so you can start in 3, 2, 1. I'll check the time. You can start. Go.
Yeah, okay. So yesterday I was watching a match with my dad, a soccer match. But I don't really understand anything, and Actually, when I saw, I don't really even know the name of the teams that were there, but then about cars, it's like talking about the brands or something like that.
Anything that you know about cars?
There is a nice, I forgot the brand. Oh my god, there is a nice. Uh, my dream car is a yellow Lamborghini because it seems very cool. I think that maybe if I have it, I will be very happy because I've been successful. I don't know. And about computers, well, actually, I think that the best choice for me as a college student is a MacBook Pro because it seems that uh, it's very supportive for people who edit most of the time. So I really think that is like one of the best choices. But also I would like to get a computer with CD-ROM, and it is not it is not 1 minute.
Yes,
Uh,
you have been talking for more than 1 minute. Thank you very much, Emily. That
okay,
was
I'm so
amazing. Don't worry. That was the idea that you kept on talking. Excellent. So thank you very much for being our first brave volunteer. So now, well, our first volunteer was a lady. So now I need a gentleman who would like to go and talk for 1 minute about any of these topics, or you can mix all of them up, just as Emily did a minute ago. Who's going to do it? Come on. I know you can. Who's going to do it? I see some microphones open. See you're thinking. Come on, guys. Don't do this to teacher Farid. I already have my team.
Maybe you can select someone. That would be easier.
Maybe, but I would love it if it were a democracy and just let them. I don't want to be a dictator. I want them to keep coming back to my classes. But if I don't have another choice, then I will choose somebody for the guys team. It's not that difficult, right, Emily? You didn't even notice that you had spoken for over a minute. So,
no teacher.
You see, she says it's not difficult, so it must be true. Come on, guys. Nobody is going to do it. Okay, teacher, why don't you take one for your team and then just do it yourself?
Do you want me to choose someone? Okay, I'm
No.
going to choose.
You do it
No?
yourself. You speak for a minute. I'll check you.
Oh, I speak for a minute.
Yeah. Your team didn't support you. I'm sorry. I have my team representative.
I can select someone if you want.
Okay, if you want to, go ahead. You're the teacher. Choose someone for your team.
Okay. So, Nicolas Herrera, would you like to speak for 1 minute?
Actually, that's an order. Nicolas, are you there? I think you should change your player.
Yeah. No. Nicola, would you like to speak? He was my student, actually, so I know him.
Uh-oh.
But he's shy.
Okay.
He's super shy.
So, choose somebody else.
Okay, who's next then? Fernando, would you like to speak for 1 minute?
No, but
it's okay.
Just go for it. I know you can do it.
Practice, come on. It's just to practice.
And it's like a story.
Okay,
whatever
3,
you
2,
want.
1, go.
When my mom has his birthday, and we go to shopping with her always, because we try many years to buy something for her, but it had no result, positive result, because so we take her with us and chooses her present.
That's good.
Okay, that was great. Okay, you pretty much included everything that you had to include, and you made it fun. And I bet you're not the only person who has ever suffered through that experience. Okay, so thank you very much to our volunteers for sharing this with us. And unfortunately, this was our last activity. Don't forget that here you have some phone numbers and some email addresses you can contact to if you have any questions that us teachers cannot answer for any reason. Also, do not forget to go check the platform regularly. We keep on updating them with new exercises and activities for you. And as I mentioned before, it is a process. So you have to work on every single activity that we put there. And do not forget to come on Saturday, okay? Which is the most important thing. Saturday at 4 p.m., we're going to be here all together again to continue with the second part of this unit. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for coming and take care. We'll see you on Saturday.
Bye, teacher.